moment of stillness to honor and call in any guides and guardians that need to come through to help me relay these messages from the cards to everyone tuning in right now. Please let me be a channeler of these important sacred messages and let them have relativity to both myself and everyone joining in right now. Let these cards serve us in their best way. And so it is. And I've pulled 3 cards tonight. I typically pull a past, present, and future card for guidance, reflection, wisdom. And we'll start with our past card. Our past card tonight is the Chariot. The Chariot. So the Chariot, as you can see, there is a white and black horse in that, harmonious Libra energy. We have that balance of shadow and light. And we're being reminded right now that in our past, we have conquered a lot of shadow and have now returned to the light. It feels like this whole past year, right? Kind of March of 2020 was that pivotal moment in North America, especially in the United States, where things started to really shut down, get a little scary, lots of uncertainty, lots of fear, a lot of battles, right? Battles with our health, battles with our immunity, battles with our fear, battles with the uncertainty, battles with others. We've been going to battle a lot as keyboard warriors. I don't know how much that serves us, right? But the Chariot is a card that symbolizes victory and kind of says, yeah, like you've been out to battle in your chariot, but now you're coming home and now you can rest and now you can reap the, not necessarily rewards of your battles, but you can take in the wisdom of what you went through and you can learn from it and you can move forward from here into the next battle with an advantage, knowing what to do next time, being more prepared. So I think that is the energy that, we're being reminded of as we move now into this next year. I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet, a lot of memes, but it's been, stuff about March of 2020 and just like, oh boy, like this is the 1-year anniversary, like things are still crazy. What's going to happen this year? But this Chariot is reminding us that that battle is done, that battle is over. And, as we move forward, it's not going to be the same. We're going to be okay. And this is also a reminder of Cancer energy, which is really interesting because Cancer is the sign of the mother. And I mentioned that we're kind of in this Venus transition, moving into a more motherly energy as we move forward. And I think we've really had to turn to kind of a motherly, matriarchal energy over this past year. This is the past card, right? So we've had to mother ourselves. We've had to take care of ourselves. Maybe you've not even been able to visit your physical mother or your parents in your life or your caretakers. Maybe you've really been alone and isolated and had to take care of yourself. We've also had to mother each other in different ways. We've had mothers themselves have really stepped up. But just that mothering of children, if you have children in your life, there's been a lot of homeschooling and a lot more time with children. Dads are in that too. I'm not playing with gender roles here, but there's that strong mothering energy that's really taken over the past year to remind us that, hey, we've got to take care of ourselves and do things a little differently, but we're going to be okay, and we still love each other, and we still love ourselves, and it's all going to work out. So the Chariot is reminding us of our past, reminding us of what we've been through, and reminding us that we're going to be okay moving forward. Moving on to the present card, we have the Page of Cups. And I think it's interesting that this is our present card because the color of the cups is green and red. This card is green and red, which is the color of the heart chakra. We have so much heart energy right now with this Venus Cazimi and this Libra energy. So I'm not surprised that we pull the Page of Cups. Now, cups themselves represent abundance. They represent emotion. And the Page of Cups is a little emotionally overwhelmed. ruled by their emotions a bit. And full moons are a time of heightened emotion. So when we have a super moon, we're even more emotional than normal. And this doesn't have to just be emotions as in sad, depressed, tired, low frequency. We're tired because we're pulled up into our mind. I mentioned this earlier. If you're tired, exhausted right now, it's because your heart is overwhelmed with this Venus Cazimi conjunction with the sun, and your mind is overwhelmed with all of this air Libra supermoon energy. So you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed. You're feeling heightened. You're feeling a little off. The Page of Cups is reminding you that your abundance, your future of bliss, your future of joy, your future of balance and peace comes from your control. You're holding that in the palm of your hands. This almost goes back to that Hasta Nakshatra energy, right? When we're in that hand energy of creation, creating our own life, we have the power to manifest what we want, to live out of joy. And when we live out of our heart too, when we start to find gratitude for everything, and I know that's crazy to think about, but I'm here to tell you that you can find gratitude for everything, because I have found gratitude for my father's suicide. That might be triggering for some people, and I apologize for that, but I have found gratitude for my father's suicide, because of my father. And I've had so many, let me go back and say, I've had so many conversations with my father. I'm a medium and I can conversate with my father. I've had so many conversations with my father around this that have brought me peace. So I can speak on this. I feel really comfortable with this. But, I took a very over emotional thing, a thing that really overpowered my whole life for a while. I was in my emotions. I was in my water energy. I was drinking way too much. I was tearing up my body by running too long and too hard. I was working out too heavy. I wasn't eating a proper diet with good nutrition. I was overwhelmed in all these emotions because of the death of my father. But all of that eventually led to me walking into a yoga class. And all of that eventually led to me becoming a yoga teacher. And all of that eventually led to me finding a path of spiritual breadcrumbs and self-healing. And if my dad had never committed suicide, I don't know if I'd be here doing this right now with you. I really don't. So I say this to tell you that you have the ability, when you move out of your heart, when you find gratitude for it, for all of it, the universe will give you more to be grateful for, and it won't be the suffering. It won't be the stuff that you have to find the golden nugget of gratitude with. It'll be stuff that just shines with gratitude, that you'll be so thankful for and so joyful to receive. And so open to receive, because you have that room in your heart. These hands are an extension of our heart. We cannot create through our hands if we don't open up our heart space and our heart chakra. So this Page of Cups is reminding us right now to look at the present moment. Okay, to look at our emotions, to look at where we're feeling heightened, feeling overwhelmed, what's causing us to feel that way, and can we shift that relationship? There's that relationship thing again, right? Venus. Can we shift that relationship so that it now brings us joy, it brings us support, it brings us bliss? The Page of Cups can also represent insecurity. Are you feeling insecure about your gifts right now? Are you feeling a lack of love for the things that you want to create and the things that you want to do with your hands that will bring you more joy, the things that you want to bring to this planet through from your heart's desire? Is there insecurity around that? A lack of support? Guess who your own best cheerleader is? Guess who your own best support system is? Yourself. Look at this Page of Cups. He's hugging himself. He's got that cape wrapped around. There's an arm inside it, giving himself a little hug. And then he's holding on to his emotions with the other hand, and he's really, containing that and holding himself through it. And you can do the same. So hold yourself through this full moon and through your emotions, and be your own support system. And I promise you, sisters and brothers, when you learn to clap for yourself, to be your own cheerleader and not look for that external validation, the external validation comes, the support comes. There's people here tonight that I don't know. There's people in this transmission I don't know. There's people that tune into the YouTube I definitely don't know, that I've never met before. But they've gravitated to me out of that energy of me feeling confident in doing what I do and supporting myself through it all. And so just trust that if you're feeling insecure right now, that you can give yourself that support. Find ways to carve out time for yourself, to love yourself, support yourself. And you'll continue, to kind of find your spiritual posse to support you moving forward. And then moving on to our future card, she's back. The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. She comes up a lot. She really does. And the Queen of Swords, she rules her life. Swords are about slaying. Swords are about release. Swords are about severance, cutting ties, making boundaries. We just did this releasing ceremony, right? This Aries energy that's going to continue to burn for the next week and a half or so is burning away what no longer serves as we move into the future through the rest of this lunar cycle. Burn away what no longer serves. Cut it away. Sever your relationship and retie it. Retie it in a different way. If you want to keep that relationship in a different way, retie that knot. Bring the rope. Bring the energy. And have them take hold of that rope from you. You set the standards. You set the boundaries. If that's what you need to do right now. The Queen of Swords represents really ultimate victory. I think of Kali, Jai Kali Ma, this ultimate victory with the sword especially. You could also think about this as protection. Archangel Michael, who holds the sword. We are heavily protected right now. I say it time and time again, but we are heavily protected. And as we move forward into this unknown, we are even more and more protected by the angels, by the archangels, by the deities, by these star communities and other planets and cosmos. We're being protected right now. So the Queen of Swords is reminding us of that. And the Queen of Swords, she really, I'm gonna cuss. I'm warning you. I'm warning you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Queen of Swords doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't. And I wrote about this when I wrote about the moon today, because Aries, I know, because I have an Aries child, they give no flippin' you know what. Very independent, very headstrong, I'm going to do it by myself. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to work at it until I figure it out. I'm going to work at it until I can do it. Very independent energy. So the Queen of Swords embraces that energy, and she gains a lot of respect from her community for that. She rules with wit and grace and strength in that give no you know what attitude. And people respect that. How many people do you admire? How many people do you follow in the real world or social media world, celebrity world, whatever, that just have kind of that headstrong same energy, and you really admire that? Yeah, so this is the energy as we move forward into the future that we need to embrace for ourselves. Ruling ourselves with sovereignty, really taking charge of our lives, taking heed around what we want to do and how we want to live. This is the energy that we're moving into just kind of as a collective now. We're moving into a very independent, free-thinking collective that also tends to respect one another out of it. So you might find over this past year, you've been gravitating towards a lot of like-minded individuals, especially people that just don't give a damn when it comes to the way that they feel and how they express themselves. And maybe that's something you gravitated towards. This is a time where collectively we are going to start moving towards others that we want to support, moving towards others that we want to relate with. There's that development of relationships again. And so I think as you move forward from this full moon, you just need to kind of ask yourself the same, can you develop that stronger relationship for yourselves? Can you rule your life self-sovereign? I don't think the Queen of Swords needs a king. She's got one, but she doesn't need one, right? She's pretty independent. And so we can kind of move forward with that same energy from here. So, past card, the Chariot. We've been through the battle of the shadows. We're now coming back to the light. We're being reminded that the battle is over and that we have an advantage if the battle happens again. The Page of Cups is a little insecure and a little over emotional, but they also know that when they love themselves and they support themselves, that they find the most stability. And when they live out of their heart with gratitude, that their cup will runneth over. And our Queen of Swords in the future reminding us to slay, brothers and sisters, slay. Continue to find those ideal relationships that this Venus Cazimi is asking us to do. Find that ideal relationship with yourself. Find the balance between the we and the me. Rule your life. Do what you want to do. And others will support you and follow you and help you to continue to do so.